Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good Christmas, Merry, Happy New Year, all good. We are here with a update, and this is to a brand spanking new feature on World of Tanks consoles. We are looking at the ranked battles currently in beta phase between the dates of September the 7th and September the 11th on console. I believe this is available for both PS4 and Xbox One/360. So for the time being, you can certainly get yourself into a game and start ranked play effectively. The way in which this works, I will explain later on. I will be taking through the guide that's currently on here, i.e. the newsfeed that's available on the World Tank site, and a few FAQ questions, because there are some really good in-depth parts of the actual update itself that are keen for you to see. And then I'll show you what it looks like and how to get to it from the main menu when you're actually on the console. It will be the Xbox version, but there's a similar process for the PS4. So without further ado, we'll be going through the main news page, I'd say, available on the World Tanks website. And we're going to be going down, these are the dates in which it's available. You will need to use your own time calculator, depending on where you are within the world itself, as to when it'll actually happen. At the moment, as I record this, it is available now. So we're going to be starting off with the fact it's a beta test. So for the time being, you are only able to use tier 5 tanks. This can be any tier 5 tanks, and when I've been in the games, there's been a multitude of different ones. Primarily heavy tanks and medium tanks have taken over, with a few light tanks, single artillery on each team mainly, and a few TDs as well. As you'll notice, one of the main things to start with is, even though you can't see that in our room, ranked battles are only for solo tankers. You can't go in as a platoon. This will be the beta phase. It may change. One of the things I've noticed when I played it is it's very, very similar to your standard game. When you actually go into a normal match, 15v15, it's unplatooned, all solo play, so it is kind of hit and miss. It generally turns out to be that one team will steamroll the other team. There's never really a battle that goes right to the end. And also, if you are playing encounter battles, you'll generally find that people go for the quick cap. Certainly on, I've just played South Coast, that did happen. So you do have to keep an eye out for that happening, and if you can take advantage of it, do it. You don't need to get the most amount of damage to win the game. There will be certain points in which you can gain from winning, obviously, and my understanding from what I've read on the forums that you may get a little extra XP or points on the actual game itself for coming in the top 2. It may vary between them, I haven't noticed myself, but then I've only actually got into the league itself now. I've only played like two games or something after I got ranked, so I haven't been able to really pick up at what points are actually happening. So as we move down, there are going to be different ways in which you can rank up in terms of your status. There are going to be division rank, divisions and leagues. There are quite a lot to go through in terms of where you physically start and where you can go to. You can see at the moment the divisions are ranked 1 to 5. This is in like your Iron League, your Silver League, Bronze League, etc., etc. And then they move on up to the final league itself. You gain points for winning, you lose points for losing, and you may gain extra points for winning and coming in within a top 2 or 5 XP. And we'll have to see about what that burns up to be. So you can see the division rank here is your current position highlighted in yellow. In this case, the highlighted yellow is your position. Your division is on the right hand side, your actual rank within that division. The little emblem you can see below the word division rank 7 is where you are. It will go from 5 to 1 within those leagues. So you start off in Silver League, there will be Division 5 is the lowest, Division 1 is the highest. And when you get to Division 1, you'll then move on to the next league, and so on and so forth until you get to the end. And the leagues themselves are Iron League, Bronze League, Silver League, Gold, Platinum, Master, Senior Master League, Chief Master League, and Grandmaster League. There's quite a lot to go through. Think of it as being similar to Rocket League if you've played that ranked, in that you get your challenger icons and you move up, but you can also move down. One of the things that you have to remember though is that whilst you can move down in your division, so you can move from Division 1 to Division 2 if you're on a losing streak, but you would have to be on a really big losing streak for that to happen. For me to go from Division 5 in Gold to Division 4, I think I need 280 points, so that might be to the next league, but that I'll also have a look at. When you play your first 10 games, you will then be ranked into a specific league. Again, very similar to other games if you played them, Halo Reach being another one, Halo 5 being another one as well, where you have to play a certain amount of games, and obviously Rocket League as well being another prime example. So it will work on the same premise. Play 10 games to get your rank, and then work from there. To actually participate in the test itself, like I say, I will show you in-game how you go to it, but on your main screen you'll have an option for ranked battles. Again, if you are trying to play in Platoon, it will ask you to leave, so you can only for the time being play solo. That may change, it may not, we'll certainly see. But it is only early days and it's just to see how things go. As far as I'm concerned, playing it is very, very quick. There are a lot of games I can find straight away. I'm not having to wait. There's a lot of people within the queue and it seems to be quite balanced matchmaking. Tier 5s on each team all the way through. It doesn't seem to throw it off anywhere near as what it does when there's regular matchmaking involved. Cough, 3 artillery on one team because we're all platooned. Cough, please stop it. So the other parts you can get by participating in the test, moving on, is the Challenges Medal and the Conquerors Medal. This being that you can get it for 20 battles for 20 Challenges Medal, and if you get 50 for staying in Gold League or above, you play 50 games, you get that medal as well. This will appear on your actual profile. There is an FAQ section here, but it's easier to read within, if I can find it, here. A lot easier to see. And the main premise one is here, that you can't go down a league, but you can go down to division. So whilst you work really, really hard to get into the next division, the next league itself, you'll then be set in that division and you won't go down, you'll only move up in terms of leagues, but you can move down divisions. It's sort of an okay sort of thing, certainly with the league side of things. At the moment, please be wary when you are playing this, you are playing it with 14 other random people. So your effect on the game is limited, especially on the tank that you take. At the moment, me playing in the tank destroyer limits me to what I can do. I've only got, specifically I'm playing the T67, so 360 HP. I'm having to play it semi-aggressively, less aggressively than I want to because I actually want to win the game. And by the time I sometimes get in position, I find that the team's already steamrolled. So that you will have to buy a tier 5 tank if you haven't got one, but try different ones out, see which one you feel best. So, a lot of the tanks I've tended to see which have done relatively well, the KV-1S, light tanks tend to do okay. Tank destroyer, certainly the T67, I do like it as a tank destroyer anyway. It's very, very good, mobile, good damage, good fire rate, and when you stick the right equipment on it, it does really, really well. So the overall gameplay in terms of tanks, there are some which you'll see on a regular basis, but there is some variety in it, and you don't end up getting bottom tier all the time, because for the time being, it is tier 5. So this is the FAQ section that you can have a read through, just as I'm talking, and what I'll do now is show you where to access it on the game and how the ladders look when you actually get placed into a league. And now we're going to move on to how it is you access it. So this is the main screen. As you can see, it's your standard multiplayer, platoon, team training, proving grounds, but then you have ranked battles in the middle. This is where you can start your overall gameplay. So when you actually go into it, if you haven't already got a tier 5, you'll have to buy a vehicle. If you do already have a tier 5, that's all well and good, it's there available for you. Now you won't have, next to my name is where your actual rank will appear. For the first 10 games you won't actually have one until you get ranked in. When you do eventually get in there, you can go to your ladder, and LB twice, and you can physically see where you are. To start with, you will be shown as being with your friends. But press the X button, go into my overall, and then X again for your actual clan. So as you see on the right hand side, they've got the Gold League. This is the division I'm in, the overall rank of 1059, and at the moment it's 280 points until the Platinum League, based on a points ratio of about 28, not taking into account of getting the ×2 over and over again, which can be kind of difficult. You may find that you'll get around about 30. Well, I would not even count the extra points you get. I would just take on the base that you'll get 28. So if I was to win 10 games, I would get into Platinum League, but it's not always possible to get that. But if you can achieve above a 50% win ratio, you will continually move up, regardless of the league you're in. You're not on a premise of being ranked against anyone else in terms of like you are on the global rating. You are just going to be playing for yourself at the moment. Things can change, this is only beta, they'll just take it into account and see what they can do to better it. There is a feedback for this itself. So when you're on here, you can use it very similar to the global rating. Press your left on the analog stick and you go through who's actually there. As far as what you're looking for, it's just a case of who's on top. You don't get to see the amount of points they've got, just basically where they're placed within the league itself. So the overall placings, we'll go down, is no points are shown, but the amount of games and win percentage they've got. So you can take an example of being 70% win ratio after 10 games. So these are the people that have just played their actual games and where they've been placed within that league. So if you win, I did have a 60% win ratio, but I only got into the Silver League, so that's another thing which I'm querying. Both these people have found themselves to be in the Gold League. They both played 10 games. One person got a 70% win ratio, which means they've won 7 games, and the other people got 60%. So there seems to be a bit of a haphazard nation as to where you actually get put. Whether you become in the top 2, that might actually become a part of it. But at the same time, people with the 45% win ratio plays in this one have 35 games. So there's a very hit miss on where you'll get put to start with. That itself won't bother too much. The only way you can then move up is to hopefully carry on winning games. The screen itself isn't exactly like most detailed, but it will provide you with the basic information that you'll need to carry on moving up. Now don't forget, because you're not moving down a league, you're only going to be moving down divisions, you can continually increase. So hopefully if you're able to get above 50% win ratio, you'll continually move up. If you don't, you are likely to delay your advance quite a lot, but certainly winning half your games or even above half your games, at least like 50.1 or something, you're going to be able to do really, really well. So hopefully it kind of showed you how it's going to be working, at least within the beta, and how it is you can get involved, look at how you're doing, what you can do from that point, and have fun. But don't forget, tier 5s only. Make sure you take the best one out, and it is random gameplay, no platoon, so you'll have lots of fun, hopefully, when you steamroll teams, but also have a look at see why teams get steamrolled and see if you can learn from that. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be putting some more videos up a bit later. But ciao for now.